Sirach, chapter 39 and verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. And I'm pretty sure by now you've heard that there was a what they're calling a mass shooting in Manhattan, NYC, New York City. And supposedly he what they're saying is he killed a cop along with three workers, and he killed himself on the 33rd floor. There's a lot to speak on this, but I'm gonna try my best to keep it short. So here is an image where you see, I don't know if he's a Jake, it might be a Jake, but he's in Manhattan. Now, if you're not from New York City, or even if you're from New York City, even if you're not, you've seen it, and you should know that Manhattan is a very busy city, especially during rush hour. This thing happened around the time that people were going home, getting off work. So it's very crowded. It's broad daylight, and as you see, this Jake has a supposedly supposedly Jake has an AR-15, just walking casually. It looks like he wasn't walking quick. He was just walking fast. He was just walking, just calmly with an AR-15 by his side in broad daylight in the peak of everyone going home from work in Manhattan. Thousands of people are out, right? So that's the first thing. They got mixed reports, and you know he was um he was a cop from Las Vegas. He was uh 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 he played high school football. He was mad at the NFL for giving him CTE, which I believe is a condition you have after getting hit so many times playing goddamn football. Right, your brain is all messed up. But it's a lot. There's a lot going on with this. But the point of the matter is, the Lord brought this judgment at this time, how He, you know, wanted it to be. So let's read that again. This is Sirach chapter 39, verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. And who made the spirits? Who's the father of spirits? Yahweh wa Yahweh Shah, man. Right? So the Lord put a spirit of vengeance on this Jake to take out and to afflict vengeance and affliction on whoever it was for. This was a straight judgment from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. Right? Let's get another one. This is Sirach chapter 30. Sirach chapter 30, verse 24. It says, envy and wrath shorten the life. So, and a man's wrath, it shortens his life, man. Right? This Jake wasn't that old at all. Right? So you could tell the way the picture looks is like he didn't give a shit what was about to take place. He didn't give a damn about his own life. Right? And this happened yesterday. It was about 95 degrees out here yesterday, man. So he has a jacket on. So, it's a lot going on. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe, you know, what they say. This could very well be a psyop. Half of the time you can't believe these news reports on how things go down because a lot of these things are not making sense or adding up. So, look at this, with a spiritual eye and know that the devil, the great deceiver, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is looking for a way to bring forth certain things, man. A lockdown, martial law, you know, blaming the prophets, the servants of Yahweh Shem Shah. You got to look at all angles, right? Pass more laws to take away your quote unquote freedom, right? So let's read that again. This is Sirach chapter 30, verse 24. Envy and strife shorten the life, and carefulness bringeth age before the time, man. So, hey, all I can say is the Lord ain't playing, man. And there's going to be many more cases like this. Many more. Right? So let's check it out. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, willing the elect, the other five. Shalom.
There's still many questions that we have to answer, and we will answer them. But for now, our city is in mourning for the innocent lives lost. May their memories be a blessing.
Well, our coach basically asked me, he was like, Shane, is the T screen open? Is the T screen open? I was like, yeah, it's definitely open. So we just do the pass to me, Ernie threw the pass to me, and one thing led to another, and I scored.
And Salakia, he was a security guard, for Las Vegas. He wasn't a cop. I don't know if he was an armed guard or what, but yeah. So yeah, it's a lot going on with this, and they said that he, blamed the NFL for CTE. He felt, they found a note in his pocket. Why all of a sudden? Why every time you have one of these quote unquote mass shootings, they leave notes, and they find notes in their pockets. They find, all types of shit, man. Go back to the guy's house, and he got notes. He got a notepad with all of these things he wanted to do. He got certain, labels and writings on his gun. Shit is getting old, man. Shit is getting real old, right? This is Second Esdras, chapter 12. Chapter 12, verse 28. It says, "For the sword of the one shall devour the other, but at the last shall he fall through the sword himself." And that's pretty much what happened, man. Right? Before he got out of here, he put a couple of people to death, man. Right? But this judgment was for who it was for, man. Talking about innocent lives. Nobody's innocent, man. That damn witch. Nobody's innocent. Right? Damn sure not you devils, man. Right? But the Lord said he was going to bring this on the earth in these last days. This is 2 Esdras chapter 15 and verse 5. "Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction," man. And the Lord is bringing all of the above at the same time, man. The modern day sword is the gun. That's being used in a major way in these last days. And like I said, what's his brother's name? Shane Tamura. I don't know if he's a Jake. I don't know, man. Tamura. That don't sound like a Jake name. He may be, Japanese or Chinese or something like that, man. He looks a little bit like he may have Jake in him, but he may have a mom from Japan or something like that. Who knows? If it comes out. But the Lord said, "Hey, I'm going to bring judgments upon the world, man." Right? And you can't hide. And this is a clear indicator that people are tired, man. People are tired of Babylon, period, man. Babylon is weighing people the hell down. And you're going to have last shouts like this. Right? This is a sign of mourning. When people do heinous acts and acts like this, man. This is Proverbs 29:2. "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice." Man, this is not a rejoicing time. Everything is to shit right now. It says, "But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn." And when people start mourning, they do certain things, man. That mourning turns to anger, turns to wrath, turns to lashing out, man. And bodies start dropping, right? So this was a case of this, man. This was a clear case of this, right? So this is very well not the end, man. There's going to be many more cases like this. So let's check this one out.
Breaking news in New York City. At least 5 people have died, including a New York City police officer, after gunfire erupted inside a Midtown Manhattan office building. The gunman also died. Sources tell the Associated Press that the suspect was Shane Tamura. They say law enforcement found Tamura's body and the concealed carry permit from Las Vegas. NYPD was called to the busy Park Avenue office building around 6:30 tonight. We had that breaking news on our earlier newscast. That building is home to several financial firms and the National Football League. No word yet on the conditions of the other people who were shot.
Just a short time ago, the NYPD released this photo of the slain officer. He has been identified as Didarul Islam. He was reportedly killed while saving civilians and protecting citizens. He was a 36-year-old married father of 2. His wife is about to give birth to their 3rd child. By the way, he's an immigrant from Bangladesh. He was not working for the department. He was working as private security on one of his off days inside the building when this gunman came in carrying an AK-47, and this is what happened, or AR-15.
And still heartbreaking news for the NYPD. They talked about that at an earlier news conference. So as that news unfolds out of New York, we're learning more about the suspected shooter,
including his ties to Southern California.
Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf in Granada Hills with the latest. Matthew?
Yeah, we're learning tonight that the suspected shooter played football here at Granada Hills Charter High School. We actually just spoke with his head football coach for the first time. He can't believe it. Shock and horror from New York to Los Angeles. Monday's mass shooting suspect in New York City, now identified as 27-year-old Shane Tamara, a former football star at Granada Hills Charter School.
My heart is still aching, just pray in prayer with God just to, for the victims. And then for Shane itself.
Walter Roby was head coach at Granada during Shane's senior year.
Well, our coach basically asked me, he was like, Shane.
This 2015 interview taken after a win. What was he like?
Shane was very quiet. He was a quiet, hard worker. He was coachable. So whatever we asked him to do, he was doing it. He led by, his actions on the field. He was our one of my top offensive players at the time.
Shane recently worked as a security guard at a casino in Las Vegas. Investigators believe he drove to New York City's Midtown, where he stormed a high-rise and started shooting.
Somebody said gunshots, shooter, saw officers with their guns drawn. They were, hiding behind planters, behind the building, and then they went in.
4 people shot and killed, including a police officer, the 27-year-old then taking his own life. What's going through your mind?
I think a lot, is like, could I have done more? Could I have helped the kid? Could I have reached out to him, or could he have reached out to me? It's just a lot of things I'm trying to process right now.
Some wonder if the shooting could be linked to the NFL and possibly anger over his football career. The official motive of the shooting remains under investigation. We're live tonight, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
Oh, so very sad, Matthew. Thank you for that information there. We have this.
And you see, with pretty much Americans, man. See, especially in New York. People don't believe that these things can happen, man. They always want to find a motive. The motive is you raping everybody, graping everybody of their livelihoods, right? You're stressing everybody out, right? People are walking. It's thousands of people in America that think just like this dude, man. That's waiting for that time. Thousands. And they can strike at any moment, man. Because especially here in America and New York City, people are hella proud, man. They will rob you blind and go home and sleep at night, man. When you got people out here that are trouble, man, with the way society is has dealt to them the hand, right? And this dude was only 27 years old. So, they're gonna try to point him out as he's bugged out. He had head trauma, so he was dealing with a mental disorder or whatever. But just by the way this photo shows how he was walking, man. This Jake, he knew what he was about to do, and he knew how he wanted it to end. Right? So what you gonna say to a dude like that? And you got thousands, tens of thousands of people that think just like this dude here in America alone. So they was like he was angry. Well, anger stirs up wrath, especially when you feel like you're not being heard, So let's get this last one. We're gonna shut it down. This is Job chapter 19. in verse 29, it says, "Be ye afraid of the sword, for wrath bringeth punishments of the sword," man. Anger. That bringeth punishments of the sword. The modern day sword is the gun. It says, "That ye may know there is a judgment." And they got it. They got the picture. They got the picture, man. This dude was going to make his presence known by any means necessary, man. People are getting real bold on how they do things, man. They just don't have a care in the world no more. America has made people, bold in coming against it, man, because of, what they obtain here, which is stress, depression, anxiety, anger, right? Not being able to live and suffering through trauma, mentally, physically, all that, man. So people feel like, man, I have nothing to lose. Yo, and they lose it. So like I said, man, this ain't the end of it. The Lord gonna raise up more spirits of vengeance daily. So I'm gonna leave it there. Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua, willing, the elect was other Father. I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua, Ba'Hashem Rakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. Until the next lesson, I'm gonna say Shalom.